What's going on, everybody? So today was the first Diablo 4 campfire chat, and this was where the Diablo 4 devs got together to update us on the launch of Diablo 4, address community feedback, and talk about the future of Diablo 4. So here's a quick recap. So first off, they mentioned that the next full developer update livestream, where they talk about revealing details about Season 1, is going to take place in early July. And as of now, they're still committed to launching Season 1 in mid to late July, and they did say it's not going to be zombies. So they mentioned that they're going to have several updates prior to Season 1. The first one's a pretty big one, and this is to Nightmare Dungeons. They reinforced that Nightmare Dungeons is ideally what they want to see players doing to grind or farm the endgame, rather than spamming normal side dungeons like players have been doing previously. This is why they've been working to normalize the dungeon so that certain dungeons aren't the most efficient farming spot in the game. So they said that they're going to be increasing the experience that you gain from running Nightmare Dungeons. And in addition to this, they're also going to be changing the way that activating a Nightmare Sigil works. So rather than just changing the icon on the map and forcing you to run to the dungeon, they're going to be making it so that activating the sigil is going to create a waypoint that you can teleport to that dungeon. They also mentioned a few other changes and bug fixes that are aimed to roll out before Season 1. So if you receive a loot cache from a world boss or some kind of event, it should be able to be opened at the level that you're at. So you're not going to have to wait until you hit a certain level, like level 80 or whatever, to open up your cache. Also, they're working on fixing the druid loot tables so that they shouldn't be receiving as many items intended to drop for barbarians. They did say that it's still intended to sometimes receive items for other classes, but this should be a small percentage of your drops. They also went on to mention that they're going to be increasing the caps of materials that you can hold in your inventory. So if you want to collect more than 9,999 veiled crystals, you're going to be able to do that, although they didn't specify an exact number. Then they started giving more information regarding Season 1 and how the preseason progress is going to carry over into the seasons. So first off, their goal with seasons is to prioritize adding new content to the game each and every season. This is going to include new gameplay mechanics as well as a new quest line to tie those mechanics into the world. In previous updates, they suggested that seasons could include new monsters, legendary powers, and uniques. They also want seasons to focus on fixing bugs and adding quality of life changes. Rod mentioned that a lot of people were asking stuff like, why is this feature in Diablo 3 and not in Diablo 4? Rod mentioned that Diablo 3 has been out for over 10 years and Diablo 4 has only been out for a little more than 10 days. So they're working hard to add more features, but it's going to take some time. Then they went on to talk about the grindiness and farming of all the renown and how players don't really want to do all of it every single season. They said that their philosophy on this has changed a little bit, which is good to hear. They still want us to get out in the world and do side quests and side dungeons and so on and so forth. But they said that with Season 1, their intentions are that the Altar of Lilith collection and map exploration is going to carry forward into the season, as well as creating alts once the update goes live. That means that when making a new level 1 character, if your entire map was explored in the preseason, it's going to be explored in Season 1, and all the statues that you've collected are also going to count. So this means that when making a new level 1 character, if your entire map was explored in the preseason and all your altars were collected, you'll be starting Season 1 with a fully explored map and with all those Altar of Lilith statues already collected, including the renown that came with those. So we'll effectively be getting a head start on the renown system by completing these prior to Season 1. So for example, in the Fractured Peaks, there are 76 areas to discover and 28 Altars of Lilith. At 5 and 10 renown respectively, having these already collected is going to grant you 380 and 280 renown at level 1. So the first renown stage in each zone is 200 points, and the second is 300 points. So this should put us some way into stage 3 in each zone, minimizing how much grinding we're going to have to do each season. This was a big one for me. To complete our renown, we can focus more energy into completing side dungeons and quests, which players are likely going to be doing anyways to level. They also mentioned, like it is currently, when creating a new character and skipping the campaign, all of the capital cities will be unlocked, but we'll still need to collect the rest of them. But on the bright side, if we've already explored the whole map, they will be visible. They'll just be grayed out, and we'll have to go run and collect them. And then they mentioned a few things that they were also planning on changing, but that probably won't come around until around Season 2. The first one was gems. They've been hearing people say, we need a gem tab, which they aren't doing exactly, but rather than having a gem tab, it sounds like they're planning on putting them in the materials pane, similar to your salvage goods and your ore and your herbs that you find around the world and that kind of thing. So this has me asking a few questions, such as if they're going to be in a panel in the side of our inventory, are we not going to be able to trade them anymore? And how exactly are we going to put them in our gear, since we can't exactly take materials out of that tab? So there must be a new interface that's going to allow us to pick which gem we want from our stat. I don't know. I guess we'll see what that looks like when it gets here. And then they also addressed the issue of hardcore players who have unfortunately lost their character due to disconnects and bugs within the game. They said that they're working on a fix that's going to use Scroll of Escapes, which is a somewhat rare hardcore only item drop that currently can be used to teleport back to town instantly. And in this new update, it's going to automatically trigger if they detect a disconnect from the game server, which will hopefully prevent unfortunate deaths like the one that I had at level 77, where I was mid-dungeon and my computer decided to randomly turn off on me killing me in the process. Moment of silence for that guy. Anyways, I'm excited for this next developer live stream coming up in a few weeks, and I'm really excited for season 1, so hope to see you guys there.